We've been together for 8 years, married for 5. I genuinely believed I had a solid partner in her. Let's call her Ashley. She was beautiful, confident, funny in that biting, sarcastic way, and always the center of attention in any room, which, looking back, should have been a red flag, but I chalked it up to charisma. Things were never perfect, but we had routines that felt comforting. Morning coffee together, date nights on Saturdays, inside jokes about dumb reality shows we watched while eating takeout. She used to write little notes and leave them in my lunchbox. Can't wait to see you tonight, face blowing a kiss, that kind of stuff. I thought we had a spark. I thought we were a team. The first crack showed maybe 6 months ago. She started going to these fitness bootcamp sessions twice a week. Okay, cool, I supported it. But it quickly became 4 times a week. Then every evening. Then she started showering at the gym instead of coming home. She said it was more convenient. You wouldn't understand, babe, it's a girl thing. Sure. Fine. I noticed she stopped doing little things. No more notes. No more morning coffee together. Her phone became a second limb, always face down, always on silent. I asked if everything was okay. She rolled her eyes. God, you're so paranoid lately. Maybe you need to get a life. That one stung. I started getting that gut feeling. You know the one. The quiet, suffocating dread you can't quite explain but can't ignore either. Something was off. Way off. But I didn't want to be that guy. The clingy, insecure husband. So I told myself she was just stressed. Just busy. Just tired. I didn't realize yet I was living in a house built on lies. So yeah, once that gut feeling started, everything else became harder to ignore. One night she came home late, like 2 a.m. late, and claimed she and some girls from boot camp had grabbed drinks after a spontaneous cardio session. I asked if she'd at least text me next time. She laughed and said, "Oh my God, relax. Do I have to check in like I'm a teenager with a curfew?" I didn't push. But inside, I felt like I was trying to hold on to water. Everything was slipping. Then there was the perfume. She never wore anything strong, usually just a soft vanilla or something floral. But this new scent started clinging to her when she came home from boot camp. It was musky. Expensive smelling. Not her. I asked her about it, and she said, "Oh, someone in class sprayed way too much and now it's on everyone's clothes." Again, I let it go. Even though I knew that wasn't how cologne worked. The weirdest part. She started talking about soccer. Constantly. Out of nowhere. She never gave a crap before. I had to drag her to a game once and she spent the whole time on her phone. Now she suddenly knew all these local team stats. Names of players. Even joked that one of the guys at her gym looked like some forward named Nico. That was the first time I heard his name. Nico. The way she said it. I don't know. It had a hum behind it. I felt it. That little smile, like she was trying not to let it bloom fully in front of me. Like she had a private joke I wasn't part of. That name would come back to haunt me. But at the time, I still hadn't accepted what I was starting to suspect. I told myself I was overreacting. Tired. Paranoid. That this is just what happens in long-term marriages. Nah. What was happening was way worse. So, here's where it started falling apart. It was a Saturday morning. She said she had early conditioning at the gym. Normally, she's out the door by 7 a.m. sharp. But that morning, she left her Apple Watch charging on the nightstand. Weird, because she's religious about her fitness tracking. Like, she once threw a fit because her rings didn't close one day. Something told me, look at the watch. I didn't even hesitate. I waited until I was sure she was gone, picked it up, and started scrolling. She'd cleared most of her messages, but forgot about the synced notifications. There it was, a name I didn't recognize at first, Nico Soccerball Fire. No last name. Just an emoji. Sketchy already. I opened one of the old iMessages that hadn't fully synced over. It said, "Can't stop thinking about yesterday. Your insane smirking face fire." Another one. "Your husband has no idea, does he? LOL. My stomach dropped so hard I almost threw up. I felt like I was floating outside my own body. Like, this can't be happening kind of floating. I sat there for a while, trying to figure out what to do. Part of me wanted to throw her stuff out the window. Another part just wanted to disappear and not deal with any of it. But I wasn't done. I googled Nico and the name of the gym she goes to, boom. Found an Instagram. Dude's a local semi-pro soccer player. Abs sculpted by Zeus. Lots of shirtless pics. Comments flooded with thirsty women and fire emojis. But there she was too, my wife, liking almost every post, going back months. One of them even had her comment. Fire killing me LOL. Yeah. LOL. That's when I knew. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't innocent. It was physical. And it had been going on for a while. That watch. Best $300 I ever didn't spend. I waited until she got home that night. I didn't text her. Didn't call. Just sat there with the watch next to me on the coffee table like it was Exhibit A in a courtroom. She walks in all smiles, swinging her gym bag like she's in a damn rom-com. "Hey babe," she says, giving me a kiss on the cheek. I don't respond. I just stare. She notices something's off and freezes. What's wrong? I don't waste time. I pick up the Apple Watch and turn it so she sees the screen. One of the messages still lit up. Last night was insane. Round 2 after your yoga class. Smirking face soccer ball. Her face goes pale like she just got caught shoplifting in front of her mom. Then, she goes on the defense faster than Messi on a breakaway. "Oh my God, I can't believe you went through my stuff. That's such a violation of privacy." I blink. That's what you're mad about? Not the fact that you're screwing some Eurotrash soccer clown named Nico? She rolls her eyes. Rolls. Her eyes. "You're being dramatic," she says. "We're just friends. He's helping me train." I swear to you, I almost laughed right there. "So y'all are doing glute bridges in bed now?" That's when the tears came, but not real ones. The kind of crocodile tears you see toddlers whip out when they're trying not to get in trouble. "You haven't paid attention to me in months," she says. "You're always working, and when you're not, you're tired or distracted." I just wanted to feel wanted again. Ah. There it is. The classic blame shift. My fault that she cheated. My fault that she snuck around and let another man into our bed while I was out working 12-hour days to support us. She tried to spin it. Said it just happened and didn't mean anything. Then in the same breath, she says she caught feelings, but wasn't going to leave me unless I found out. I stood up and said, "So I guess I'm just the guy paying the bills while you get your cardio in with Nico, huh?" She didn't deny it. Just stood there looking pathetic, arms crossed, eyes avoiding mine. That was the moment something snapped in me. Not in a rage way. Just, like a dam breaking. I wasn't sad. Not yet. Just empty. She went to stay at her sister's that night. Said she needed space. I didn't argue. I needed silence more than anything. The house was suddenly too big and too quiet all at once. Every little thing pissed me off, the half-drunk smoothie on the counter, her hoodie draped over the couch, the smell of her shampoo lingering in the bathroom. It was like her ghost was still here, smug as hell. I didn't sleep. Just laid in bed staring at the ceiling, phone in hand, rereading the messages I'd screenshotted like some sick kind of self-torture. The nicknames they had for each other. The private jokes. The voice notes. I think the worst one was him calling her his little striker, and her replying, "Soccer ball fire, I score for you every time, Poppy." I actually gagged. The next few days were a haze. I went to work, barely said a word. My coworker asked if I was sick. I told him, yeah. Something like that. Couldn't eat. Couldn't laugh. Music in the car started hitting differently, even dumb pop songs sounded like funeral dirges. Then came the questions. Did she ever love me? How long had she been doing this? Were there others? Did I miss the signs or just ignore them? It felt like every memory was tainted now. Our anniversary trip to Cabo. Was she already texting him then? That time she lost her phone for 2 days, was she actually with him? It's like my entire relationship rewrote itself in reverse, and suddenly everything sweet now looked sinister. A buddy of mine, Mike, came over and brought beer. We sat on the back porch, didn't say much at first. Then he just said, "You know this isn't your fault, right?" I didn't believe him. Not then. But I nodded anyway. Because the truth is, even when someone stabs you in the back, the first thing you do is wonder if maybe you turned around too fast. So after a few days of this emotional freefall, I finally started trying to piece myself together. I figured, alright, we're probably done, I just needed to start planning my exit. Lawyer up, sort out the house, all that miserable grown-up stuff. Then something weird happened. I got a DM on Instagram from a random account. No profile pic. No bio. Just a message that said, "You should probably know your wife isn't just cheating on you with one guy." I stared at it for a good 10 minutes, trying to decide if I was losing my mind or if someone was just screwing with me for fun. But then they sent screenshots. More messages. Different guy. Same pattern. Turns out Mr. Soccer Star wasn't the only player in the game, there was a second guy, some tattooed bartender from a lounge downtown. She called him her late-night vibe. I'm not kidding. She had saved his number under Verizon support and would text him while sitting next to me on the couch. I actually felt physically sick. Like, the soccer dude was bad enough, but this? This was next level. There was overlap. There were dates. She had schedules. She literally texted one of them, "Hang on, I need to make an excuse for the husband, he wants to cuddle nauseated face." That was the moment something snapped in me. It stopped being just pain. It was rage now. Embarrassment. I felt like the dumbest man alive. And I was pissed, not just at her, but at myself for trusting someone who apparently treated cheating like a part-time hobby. I sent her the screenshots. No message. No explanation. Just the truth, right in her smug little face. She didn't reply for hours. Then she finally texted. "You had no right to go through my messages. You're making this worse than it is." I laughed. Out loud. Alone in my kitchen. No apology. No remorse. Just defensiveness. Like she was mad I caught her in her mess. Classic gaslighting. And that's when I knew there was no saving this. So, after the "you had no right" text, I realized I couldn't do this dance anymore. I wasn't going to let her twist things into being my fault for catching her cheating on me, with multiple people. I wanted a face-to-face. No more games. No more screens. Just truth. I waited until she got home from her yoga class, or whatever class she was pretending to go to, and asked her to sit down. She knew. I could tell the second she walked in. Her whole vibe was off. Sweaty palms, twitchy eyes, that fake confused expression people put on when they're bracing for impact. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just laid it out. The soccer guy. The bartender. The texts. The Instagram messages. The husband wants to cuddle nauseated face comment. I ended with, how long have you been looking me in the eye and lying? She just sat there. Blank. Then she hit me with the worst possible response. I didn't plan for any of this to happen. You were just emotionally unavailable. I needed connection. Emotionally unavailable. I swear, I almost blacked out for a second. That was her defense. That I somehow made her schedule affairs between gym selfies and match days. I said, so instead of talking to me, you lined up a striker and a bartender like it's some adult version of FIFA? She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes. Then she said, I was going to tell you. Eventually. But you've been so needy lately. I didn't want to deal with a meltdown. I couldn't believe the words coming out of her mouth. It was like she was living in an entirely different reality where she was the victim and I was just some annoying roadblock. I stood up. Walked to the bedroom. Grabbed a duffel bag. Started packing. She followed me, finally freaking out a little. Wait, so that's it? You're just leaving? I looked at her and said, no, you're leaving. I own this place. You can pack your things and go stay with your emotional connections. Boom. She did not like that. She tried to argue, tried to flip it again. Started crying. Begged me to just talk about it. But I was done. The switch had flipped. No more bargaining. No more denial. I saw who she really was, not the girl I married, but someone who thought her lies were more important than my dignity. I gave her 48 hours to get out. So, she left. Not without drama, of course. The first 24 hours were weirdly quiet, like the eye of a hurricane. No texts. No yelling. No apologetic voice memos. Just silence. I thought maybe, just maybe, she realized she screwed up and was letting me breathe. Nope. Cue the sucker punch. The next day, I wake up to a post on her Instagram story, a boomerang of her clinking glasses with soccer guy, both of them looking cozy AF, captioned. New chapters clinking glasses sparkles. New chapters. That was the moment it fully sank in, she never loved me the way I loved her. Not recently, maybe not ever. I was a placeholder. A warm body. The safe guy she could build a Pinterest wedding with, while daydreaming about dudes who made her feel like a 19-year-old again. The betrayal wasn't just the cheating. It was how easy it was for her to erase me. 3 years together, 2 married, and she moved on like I was a failed experiment in her love life. And I was left with the deafening silence of our apartment. Her perfume still lingering in the closet. Photos on the fridge I couldn't bear to take down yet. The playlist we made together haunting my Spotify algorithm like a cruel joke. The nights were the worst. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I pictured her with him. Her laugh. Her hands. The same ones that used to reach for mine now wrapped around someone who knew she was married and didn't care. My emotions were all over the place, sadness, rage, numbness. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to feel normal again, but my brain was stuck replaying her lies in slow motion. And the text started rolling in from mutual friends. Hey man. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I always thought something was off about her and that guy. If you need anything, drinks, couch, distraction, I got you. Even her sister DM'd me. Said she was ashamed and couldn't believe her own blood did this. It helped. But it didn't fix the pit in my chest. I went full ghost mode for a week. No social media. No calls. Just me, a bottle of whiskey, and reruns of shows I barely remembered watching. It felt like grieving a death. Because in a way, it was, the death of a version of my life I thought was real. A week passed. Then another. And at some point, the fog started to lift. Not all at once. More like, moments. Little things. One morning I woke up and realized I'd slept through the night. First time in weeks. A small win. Then I went a whole day without checking her socials. Another win. I even started going to the gym again, the one I used to avoid because it reminded me of her workout routines and our Saturday mornings. I was still hurting, don't get me wrong. But the pain started mutating into something else, clarity. I started therapy. Best decision I ever made. Shout out to my therapist, Julia, who hit me with the realest question in session 2. Do you miss her, or do you miss the idea of her? That one hit like a freight train. Because when I really thought about it, yeah, I missed the version of her I built up in my head. The sweet girl who'd bring me coffee in the morning and make dumb TikToks with me at 2 a.m. But that girl? She hadn't been around for months. Maybe longer. The real her, the one who could lie to my face while texting another man under the table, that was who I had to finally see. And once I did, the emotional math started to shift. I wasn't the broken one. I wasn't unlovable. I was just loyal to someone who didn't deserve it. Also, fun plot twist, apparently soccer boy's not exactly a serial monogamist. A buddy of mine who follows local sports stuff told me he'd been seen with another girl already, someone who, let's just say, wasn't my wife. So while she was out here living her new chapter, she might be starring in a new soap opera of her own. Call it karma, or just messy people doing messy things. Meanwhile, I cleaned house. Tossed her crap. Donated her old shoes and purses. Blocked her on everything. It felt good. Like reclaiming my space, physically and mentally. I started journaling. Went on a solo hike. Reconnected with old friends. One night, over beers, one of them said, "Dude. I know it feels like hell now, but someday you're gonna look back at this and realize she set you free." And weirdly, I believed him. It's been a few months now, and I feel like I've aged a decade, in the best way possible. There's something about betrayal that hardens you, but also sharpens you. You start seeing people differently. Not colder, just clearer. I've had time to think. A lot. I think about all the moments I ignored the red flags. All the times I gave her the benefit of the doubt because I didn't want to believe she'd ever lie to me, not her, the person I thought I knew better than anyone. But people change, or maybe we just finally see them for who they really were all along. If you're reading this and going through something similar, here's what I'd tell you. Listen to your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. That little voice in your head is not just paranoia, it's your instincts begging you to pay attention. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. I spent months trying to be better, trying to hold everything together, when the whole time she was already gone. Don't romanticize history. Just because you've shared time with someone doesn't mean you owe them your future. Love should be a two-way street, not a scavenger hunt for crumbs of affection. Healing is ugly but worth it. Some nights I cried like a kid. Some mornings I woke up angry at the world. But every day I chose to show up, for me. And over time, it stopped hurting so much. There's life after betrayal. Better life. Peaceful. Real. Where trust isn't a game and love isn't a competition. I don't know what my ex is doing now. Honestly. Don't care. She became a stranger the day she looked me in the eyes and lied without flinching. That's not someone I need updates on. Me. I'm doing all right. I've got my freedom back, my dignity intact, and a deeper understanding of what I will and won't tolerate ever again. So to the next guy who finds himself staring at a phone screen, realizing his wife isn't who he thought she was. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're just waking up. And yeah, it's gonna hurt, but on the other side of that pain, you're gonna feel free. Thanks for reading. And to whoever needs to hear it, you've got this.